Hey everyone, it's Nick here with Average Nerd DIY, and today I just wanted to put together a quick video showing you some of the different piping that they're using in old drain lines. So I didn't do too much recording for actually removing these, just because I was way out of my depth and didn't feel comfortable or didn't feel like it was going to be productive or helpful to anyone to show the process of removing it. Used a lot of different things, so we were working with cast iron and galvanized steel, and used a lot of different methods to cut, and most of them came from online. And but anyway, so I just wanted to show you kind of how these systems worked, and then also why they failed. And so let me flip it around, and so I'm getting ready to take these to the dump, and that's why I wanted to show it now before I got rid of them for all of time. And what I'll say first is that this little piece right here is the absolute bane of my existence. As you can see, cut it all the way down there, trying to get it out. That didn't even help, and ended up being able to pry it out by cutting some of the molding. But anyway, so as you can probably guess, this is the galvanized steel, and then this is the cast iron. And so this would be a Y. All of this was going to, all of this was going to our full bathroom upstairs. And so the issue with the galvanized steel is that, well, both of them will corrode because they're metal. This one is going to rust a lot more obviously. Galvanized steel on the outside looks okay, except for maybe the fitting, which I'm not sure if it's galvanized steel or a different kind of steel or cast iron. Not sure what's going on with that part. But anyway, outside of it looks pretty good. But then when you turn it over, that's what it's done after 50 years. And this part in particular was coming from a shower drain, and in the process of removing it, I actually ran a ratchet strap through to pull it so that I could cut it. And this is after having ran that ratchet strap through and pushing a fish tape through a couple times. And yeah, so it's very corroded. It corrodes in the inside primarily, and that's the main issue. You don't really know you have an issue until it's too late and it's ready to clog and burst. So it also doesn't really clean up well. That just comes back, and yeah, so not a great system. I mean, it's lasted a long time, but it's very clog worthy. And then this is the cast iron, and so this was the main stack. This is a 4-inch cast iron, and then I forgot to mention that this is a 1.5 inch interior diameter, and then about a 2-inch outer diameter. And so with the cast iron, the galvanized, as you can see, just kind of threads in, and that's how they just thread things together. With the cast iron, they actually have a couple different systems. So I think on this hub they actually have the galvanized steel threading into it. It may also be a fitting that's like push into the cast iron. I'm not exactly positive. But then on the top here you can see there's this kind of there's this band that's surrounding this pipe on the inside. And so what I believe that to be, and what I've seen online, is it's what's called oakum and lead. And so oakum is a tarred fiber. I'm not sure if it's a plant fiber or wood fiber or something else altogether, but essentially is just covered in tar. They would push it down or pack it down around this ring, and then they would pour molten lead over top of it. And so that would seal it in and essentially finish the joint. And so that's how they sealed that. You can actually see this is from our the toilet. So this was just underneath the toilet flange, and you can see some of the silvery parts here are actually lead that came apart as we were trying to remove it. We were wearing PPE and all that. Don't worry, don't have a bunch of lead poisoning. But in any case, this actually held up relatively well. It looks kind of gross in there, but in terms of the diameter that's left, it's not too bad. And I also suspect that it probably had more issues than it would have otherwise, because of how much rust and how many clogs this galvanized was creating. So it was slowing down the flow of water, allowing the cast iron to rust. Maybe it was going to look like this in the end, but the issue with the cast iron is it also rusts, and eventually it's just going to break down to the point where it starts cracking or leaking. That's actually what happened in our kitchen. There was bad pitch, bad drainage, and it just slowly started breaking away. We maybe could have saved some of this cast iron, but there are a lot of spots where it was starting to pit on the outside, which means it's pretty much shot. And then, you can see in there, it's not looking super pretty. Probably had a little bit of life left, but while we had things opened up, was worth it. In terms of what I recommend cutting both of these, it really just depends on how tight your use case is. With this part, the vertical cut was made primarily with a sawzall. I don't recommend it. I also used an air saw, so a pneumatic air saw with a compressor, and that worked for the kind of tight space I had. But then once I got that was because I was cutting a vertical section coming off this way, so I cut it in half. And then once I got that done, I started with the air saw in here, but the blade wasn't long enough to get up there, so I started using the sawzall. That didn't really end up working because I couldn't get enough compression force on this top portion to actually make it crush inwards and then release from the joint. So these joints are really tough, especially once they've been rotted. For the cast iron, it's honestly easier to work with in my opinion. It's harder to cut with like a sawzall, but you can use a sledge and hammer to break it up. So what we did for a lot of it was Emma would hold the chisel and then I would hit it with a big sledgehammer, or I just hit it directly with the big sledgehammer, and it breaks up pretty quick. That doesn't work in every situation. There are some places, so I used a grinder in some spots where the sledgehammer wasn't going to work, or I needed a cleaner cut. But all in all, there's a lot of different methods you can use to cut it, but those are just some of the ones that were productive. I would, if you look it up, one of the best blades that I found was it's a Milwaukee, I think it's a nitrous carbide blade. That one worked really well. It cut through everything. That being said, I didn't try the other ones, but that's what everyone online recommended. All the videos I watched were using that kind of blade. And that kind of blade also, I should have pointed this out, that blade just ripped through the galvanized steel really well. So highly recommend that. But anyway, just wanted to put together that quick video. Hopefully it was informative. If there's anything else you want to share about that, any ways that you found works well to cut the galvanized steel and the cast iron, let me know down in the comments. And then if you're willing, leave a like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks everybody. Bye!